Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry I left you guys hanging for so long. Honestly, you guys have been on my mind, but I wanted to come correct with my next video, and I had so much going on. If you haven't been following me on my other social media sites, you wouldn't know that I just turned 25. I'm finally 25, and I've been celebrating my birthday season. I've been doing photo shoots for my birthday. I've been going through things that I'm definitely going to share on this channel. I really feel like I've been in a season of just being tried and tested in different areas. And I feel like I've got so much insight, so much knowledge, so much wisdom for my circumstances, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So I know my last video over a month ago, can you believe it? I said in my next series I'm going to be talking about social issues, and you guys, the amount of stuff that's been happening in the news and in the media and on social media has been crazy. And can I just stop and say, Black Lives Matter, and anything that affects Black people affects me directly because I identify as Black. And if my people are going through, I'm going through with them. So I am honestly praying for us as a people. And I really do believe that after we've overcome this, we will be so much stronger as a people. I love the marches. I love everything that is bringing Black people together. And I think it's so awesome. I did say I was going to be talking about racism, and I will definitely be doing that video. But I have not come to talk to you about that video. I've come to talk to you about a topic that has been extremely close to my heart and something that I've been struggling with for a while, and I kind of want to break it down to you guys. So today's topic is comparison is the thief of joy. And whoever coined that phrase is so accurate and so smart and so loyal. No, I'm joking. They're so smart because it's so accurate. So anyway, let's get into it. So in my previous video, which has now been renamed Social Media is Fake, so I spoke about the illusion that is social media, about everything that glitters is not gold. I also talked about how it's a snapshot of people's lives and not the entirety of it. I also talked about how we get a validation from likes, comments, etc. on social media as well. So if you haven't seen that video, go and check it out and then come back to this one. So even though we know that social media isn't completely real, they're snapshots of people's lives, we kind of still believe that it is the entirety of their lives. I really feel like as a content creator, as someone that makes YouTube videos, as a social media influencer, we really do have a job to not just share the ups, but also share some of the downs as well, and not just share the perfect, but also show some of the imperfection, also show some of our weaknesses. I know that a few YouTubers do that on social media, so kudos to you guys, but I feel like as influencers, we have a responsibility. We owe it to those who we are influencing to tell the truth. Not to show everything, but to show both sides, to have a good and even balance. And that's why I always say that I never want anyone to see me as perfect. That's why I share my flaws, I share my ups and downs, I share on Instagram my thoughts and my feelings, and sometimes when I'm not feeling great, sometimes when I'm feeling depressed, I like to show you guys that I'm just as real as you, but I don't want you to see me as perfect. I get nothing from people saying, oh my god, you're perfect, oh my god, I want to be you so bad. Like, I don't get anything from that. Of course, I want you to like my beautiful pictures, I want you to like my hair, I want you to admire my makeup, like why not? But when I talk, I want you guys to be able to connect with me on a deeper level than that. I want you guys to know that when I bleed, my blood is also red. And I really feel like people can connect to authenticity, and that's exactly what I want to be. So social media is created to share your best moments, and I completely get that. The problem is how we use it and how much we intake, how much we digest into our lives. And if we can be absolutely real with ourselves, there are times when our real life isn't that great. We don't feel successful, we don't feel accomplished, we don't feel beautiful, we aren't happy being single, we don't feel like we've got good friends on our side. And then what we do is we take those insecurities and we come online and we grab our phones and we scroll and we scroll and we scroll. We scroll through Instagram, we scroll through all these beautiful photos, we scroll through couple goals, we scroll through girls that we deem to be more beautiful than us, we scroll through people that are rich, and we compare where we are right now to people we don't even know. We don't know their journey. We don't know the struggle that it took to get to where they are. For example, you may want a child and you go on Instagram or you go on YouTube and you see these beautiful families and they're just giving birth to a newborn, but you don't actually know that it took maybe 4 miscarriages before she could finally conceive. Or you see a couple on Instagram and you love the way that the guy treats his girl, but you don't know that that girl has been heartbroken multiple times, and the love that the man is now showing her, she can't even receive it. So while you're there like, oh my god, I'm so lonely, I wish I had a child, I wish I had a man, I wish I had a babe, you don't even know the full story, but you're envying something that is true, but it's only a quarter of the truth. So do you see by those examples how your perspective has now changed? Because of the whole picture that they don't share is coming through. Let's take photos, for example. You know, girls, that you'll take 100 photos, but you only post 1. Always realize that the one picture or the one thing someone's showing you, you haven't seen the rest. You haven't seen the backstory of it. So never envy anybody's life simply because you don't know the whole picture. But if you think about it, the responsibility isn't just for the other person, it's also for you and choosing how you're going to emotionally respond to something you've seen online. The real thing is that sometimes we're not happy with ourselves, and the fact that someone else has what we want is obviously going to cause envy. We are human. And there's no shame in that at all. There's even been times when I've had to unfollow celebrities of Instagram, or I've had to like cleanse my whole Snapchat because it was giving me anxiety. I used to follow like 150, maybe even 200 people on Snapchat. Now I follow around 60 people, and they're only people that I know. And I have to know what triggers my envy or my jealousy or my comparison off, and avoid putting myself in that scenario. We only really compare ourselves on social media to people that we just don't even know. If we did know them, we wouldn't compare ourselves because we know more of the background story. We know more of the struggles that they've been through or they're going through, and that we're not so like, we don't believe so easily what we see. It's miniature thinking, and we need to really get it together and stop it now. And I touched on this about a week ago. On Twitter, but too many of us are competing with people that don't even have the same goals as us. Like, we look at people and say, look at all the stuff she has, she must be so happy, and her happiness is making me sad because she's happy with the things that I want. So that means that she's happy because I would be happy if I was her. But you don't actually know that your goals, when you look at someone and say goals, that may actually be someone's starting point. Like, you can say to me, oh, Breeny, your goals or whatever, I want to be just like you. But for me, this is like a drop in the ocean. You guys haven't even seen my full potential. Happiness means different things to different people. So you can't compare your happiness to somebody else's, because it's completely different based on your values and what you deem as important in life. Because I am blessed beyond measure, as in I am not struggling, and I thank God for that every single day. I count my blessings. But there have been times when I've looked around and I have everything that I need, and I was so miserable. But someone at that time could be looking at me on Instagram or looking at me on YouTube and being like, oh, I wish I had what she had. But they don't realize that at that moment, that is not making me happy. That is not my idea of happiness, if you know what I mean. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, stay in your own lane, water your own garden, and don't focus on anybody else's. We've all heard the term, the grass is greener on the other side. And I always say the grass is greener wherever you water it. Whatever you're investing your time and your energy into, that's what you are growing. And if you're investing your time into being envious or being jealous and looking at somebody else's garden, your garden is just shriveling away and dying because you're not paying attention to it. And so I always say, water your own garden, and the only time you should look at your neighbor's garden is if you're offering a hand of help. Like, don't ever compare your garden to somebody else. I'm using garden, but you can use life. But I'm going to compare it to a garden because I feel like that's something that you can nourish and you can nurture. And I feel like if you are looking at someone else's garden and saying, oh, I want that, which is perfectly fine. Like, focus on your own grass, water your plants, and if you don't like what's been planted, uproot it and plant it again. You have the power. You are in control of what your garden produces. Yeah, it's okay to admire your neighbor's garden and want what they have, but the moment you take your eyes off of your garden and gaze at someone else's to compare it, you have lost your joy completely. And all the hard work and the toil that you put into making your garden as good as possible seems like absolutely nothing, because you've compared what you've done with somebody else's. And the moment you gaze over at your neighbor's garden and you compare, yours always falls flat. Yours is always going to be less than. Never compare. Never, never compare. And never compete with no one, because nobody is competing with you. You are in your own lane. You are designer's original. You are so unique. There's no one that's like you. No one has grew up the way that you've grown up. So in essence, if you cannot look without comparing, then don't look. If Instagram is hurting your feelings, then delete it. If Snapchat is giving you anxiety, then just stay off it. You are fully in control of your social media. Do not let it control you. Do not let it control your thoughts. Do not let it control your feelings. Don't let it control your actions. You have control of it. Like this button here is amazing because you can always turn your phone off. You can always close your phone off, turn it off, and face the real world. You are in control of this. Do not let some images on a screen change or affect your mood or make you feel less than what you already are. You are an amazing individual. There's nobody like you. So never compare yourself to somebody else, because their story is different, their life is different, and we're all going to make it eventually. You may take longer, but you'll get there eventually. So keep your chin up, my love. Keep your head up, my sweetie pie. Okay? Know that you are so special, and you are loved unconditionally. Until next time, guys. Mwah.